We've got Cato, Supreme Court Review Editor-in-Chief, Ilya Shapiro. Ilya, all I'm saying is let the process work out. It might be effective to some. What's wrong with that?
I actually think it's cleaner to say we're not going to go through the kabuki theater of these hearings when, at the end of the day, we're hewing to our position of not confirming anyone. Just make the point that you're defending your institutional prerogative. This is not about any particular nominee. And the last time that an election year vacancy that arose during an election year was filled was 1932. Kennedy is different because he was the third nominee, and there was a vacancy for 7 months that arose the previous summer.
You can't gloss over, Kennedy. You can't gloss over, Justice Kennedy, the fact that the third time was the charm for President Reagan. He got the guy through unanimously. All I'm saying, yes, people are free to have their views. I know these guys enter this. Some of them are just previews, or I'm not going to support this guy. I will support. I know how it goes. But then to not even have the process because you think it's kabuki theater is, you could say that about a lot of committee votes, about a lot of Senate votes, about that. Once you start using that as your litmus test, I don't know, we start losing a lot, my friend.
Look, this is ultimately a political battle. Mitch McConnell and the Republican senators are making this point to the American people, saying, look, we want you to judge this fall, and why waste resources either from the White House or ours or tax the nominee?
It's what we do. You mentioned Mitch McConnell. Back then, in 2005, when this came up over a Court of Appeals appointment, he said the majority in the Senate is prepared to restore the Senate's traditions and precedents to ensure that regardless of party, any president's judicial nominees after full and fair debate receive a simple up or down vote on the Senate floor. It is time to move away from advise and obstruct and get back to advise and consent. So
that was in response to circuit judge appointees like Miguel Estrada, who were filibustered in the middle of the term.
But what's right then versus what's right now? Can Republicans stand above this and say, you know, this stupid back and forth and playing, to your point, kabuki theater with this is insulting. We're not going to do it. We have such confidence in our numbers and the fact that the president will likely appoint someone who isn't our cup of tea, that we will reject said cup of tea. And that will be that. And much like LBJ had to deal with, it will be dealt with by a new president. But to close off the debate, for whatever reason, I think will do them more harm than good. What say you?
Well, that's a political judgment. I mean, again, the Constitution is silent on this. Adam White has a seminal article in the Harvard Journal of Law and Public Policy about 10 years ago talking about the advise and consent clause, saying the Senate doesn't have to do anything in particular. It's a political judgment. I think it's much cleaner just to say, look, we are not going to force anyone to go through this process. Let the American people decide 9 months down the line. Even if they were taking the process in order right now, the new justice wouldn't be confirmed to vote on any cases this term. So we're really not talking
the average
that
time,
much of the court's operation.
But the average time takes anywhere from, what, 65 to 70 days from formal naming to a vote in committee and in the Senate. Now, having said that, I understand that there are political machinations at hand here. But are they any less in the term of a new president? And what if Republicans have doubled down on stupidity here and risk now a Democratic president coming in and then rubbing their noses in it?
Well, again, that's the political judgment. I think the Republicans would have a much no leg to stand on if a Democrat wins the November election and they keep not considering someone. At that point, they can consider their options.
Would they like it done to them?
Probably not.
No.
But look, politics ain't beanbag.
So why can't someone just say, stop this insanity? Stop this insanity.
No, it would be insane to go through the motions for no particular reason, to have some sort of Potemkin charade that we're actually going through proper processes.
That charade is part of our process. You can call it charade, and believe me, I agree with the political games each side plays, but that charade is built into our institutions. We have a right to think that if a president, even if it's a year to go, can go ahead and during these times appoint someone to the Supreme Court, yay or nay, the Senate deals with it, done.
Why even consider the qualifications or merits or ideology of a nominee? This is not about a nominee. This is about the system and the structure.
But you don't know. You don't know what it's about. You don't know what it is. You don't know what name the president will submit if he's not tellable. But you prejudged it and said right out the gate, no.
I mean, look, if the president wanted to appoint me, then yes, I would say definitely confirm, or someone who thinks exactly like me. That's not the, but again, that's a political judgment. So
it's a political judgment you're making not to give it a chance. I'm not saying this is an apologist for the president or to Republicans. We have a process that's done this country some good over the years, over the decades. Stick with it.
I think it's also a clean argument to make to the American people to say, look, at the outset, without prejudging, without responding to any particular nominee, this has nothing to do with whether Obama tries to nominate a radical, a moderate, or anything else.
I think it's going to hurt Republicans because they don't even want to give the president a chance. They hate him. They'll reject it. They look like they're taking their marbles and going home. When the irony of ironies is they control the Senate. They control the House. They control the legislative branch. This is a chance to prove their muster, not to deny it.
Don't you think the Democratic response to a rejection of a qualified nominee would be the same or worse?
Who cares? Who cares? That's what the lawyers say. That's what Republicans said when Democrats did that to their nominees. But to deny that debate is to deny something that you would hate if it were done in reverse to you.
This seat, this nomination is too important. The American people are deadlocked. They reelected Obama. They overwhelmingly picked a Republican Senate. It's an unprecedented scenario. So
the president won by 5 million votes, all right? I'm not saying it was a while ago, but that got him elected to January 20, 2017. I'm just saying.
And I'm just saying that the last time that a Senate of the opposing party confirmed an election year vacancy was 1888. Yeah. So, I mean, we're literally in unprecedented territory.
But you're making your own rules here to suit the party that right now wants to screw the other guy.
I'm not a partisan. I'm a libertarian.
Well, I'm just telling you, the whole thing smells to me. But again, I'm not a lawyer. Thank God. All right, but thank you, Ilya. Very good habit.
Hard cases make bad law.
Yes, indeed they do. And I don't even know what that means, but I'm outraged that you even said it. All right.